I'm out on a little 10-mile run this morning. I do this every Tuesday morning, which means I go to sleep early on Monday nights because I got to be up at 5 a.m. to do this jaunt. Anyway, I wake up to the, I would say shocking news, but considering who the team was, the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry if you see the flashing. This is my don't run my ass over light armage stuff. So anyways, is armage a word? Anyway, wake up and I check the scores. I'm like, let's see who the Eagles are facing. I guess we're gonna have to have Minnesota come into here and then be a doormat on the way for the Eagles to go through the playoffs, which, shocker, they choked in the playoffs. Shocker, a quarterback drafted by the Jets shits the bed somewhere else. It's an eternal curse for life when you're drafted by the Jets. But anyway, sorry, my nose is running. It's 20-something degrees out here. Okay, that failed. You couldn't even see the steam on camera. Anyway, look, two things I want to talk about here. Number one, the Vikings deserve to get effed for life for that Herschel Walker trade. As you know here, if you're a follower of mine, you know that I hate the Minnesota Vikings on par with a team like the Cowboys. Not as much as the Cowboys, but I hate them on par because they handed 3 titles to the Dallas Cowboys in the 1990s with the most idiotic trade in NFL history, dare I say. Okay, maybe there's ones worse, but no other trade gave a team 3 titles. Anyways, screw them forever for the Herschel Walker trade, but you know, enough about them. They'd even worth the time. They were a waste of their fans' time. They were a waste of anyone saying like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be the year they're going to do it. Like anyone that had an ounce of credibility into them being a legitimate contender. That's all gone. They're a waste of time. Forget they even existed. Go find a new Jets quarterback to get. Oh, by the way, is the one they have this year going to want to look for somewhere else to play? Go ahead. Go to Minnesota, Aaron, you douchebag. That aside, I am tired of hearing about this whole, oh man, a team that has so many more wins than the other shouldn't have to go on the road in the playoffs. No, you know what this served? You know what this served? This matchup served? This matchup served 2 things. Okay, here's 2 more things for you. Number 1, win your division. Win your division, okay? This is the perfect example of you should win your division, because all I heard is like, oh man, the 10-win Rams get a home game against the 14-win Vikings. What sense does that make? You know what sense it makes? It makes perfect sense if Minnesota would have just won their division, showed up for 2 games against the Lions, and then the argument would be moot. They would have won their division. They would have had that number 1 seed. They wouldn't have had to go on the road anywhere well, they wouldn't have done anything in the wild card round because they would have got a bye. So there, win your division. What did the Eagles do? They won their division. What did the Rams do? They won their division. It's all that much more motivation. Like, yes, I agree. It looks kind of silly to have a 10-win team host a home playoff game against a 14-win team. But as you can see today, or yesterday, last night, a 14-win team can choke in the playoffs just as well as anyone else. That game was a blowout last night. The records are irrelevant. Sorry, I'm getting loud, and I'm like 2 miles away from the police station here, so they're going to come out and be like, yo, what are you doing over there, crazy Eagles fan? And then I'll get tasered. They probably think I'm like climbing up this like telephone pole or something. Anyway, it's not a telephone pole, it's a light pole arching. Thank you for the clarity. Anyway, I'm tired of hearing about this whole, it's embarrassing when you see someone have to go on the road when they have so many more wins. Okay, good. How'd that argument hold up this year? Exactly. The rule ain't changing this year. It ain't changing next year. It should not change ever, because you should have that much more motivation to win your division, period. So if there's one good thing the Vikings have done, is that they've, helped keep this rule in place. I'm sorry, my hand is starting to freeze. I took my glove off so I can control the camera here. So thank you, Vikings. You finally did something right. You helped keep a rule that I think should stay in place. So thank you for that, Minnesota. It's finally you did something good in the playoffs for a change. And just sit back, laugh at the Vikings, and it's I don't even hate the Vikings as much as I hate a team like the Giants, because other than one 2 years of a lucky run with Eli Manning in the playoffs. Like, what have the Giants done in the last 30 years? Like, oh, well, they got to the Super Bowl in 2000. But yeah, but you know what? You know what else they did in 2000? They kicked the shit out of the Vikings in the NFC Championship before they got their shit kicked in by the Ravens in 2000. So even then, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, the Giants did the Lord's work that year. So, and jeez, the Commanders, like, they just won their first playoff game in the last 6 centuries yesterday, or 2 days ago. How can you hate on a team that's that abysmal? So yeah, I'd say the Vikings are probably my second most hated team next to the Cowboys. But hey, they suck in the playoffs eternally for that Herschel Walker trade. So screw them. Karma's a bitch. Anyways, just wanted to stop my little 10-mile run here this morning and just share the glorious news that is the annual Minnesota Vikings playoff failure. After building up their fans, they just say, we ain't shit. We still ain't shit, man. Did you guys buy into it this year? Did you see that quarterback we got that's drafted by the Jets? Yeah, he ain't shit, man. It's Christian Ponder all over again, man. It's no big deal. We'll find someone else next year. There'll be a different quarterback here. Don't worry about it. Just like in Dallas, there'll be a new coach next year. You know, shit happens. Anyways, I'm going to finish my run now. That is all.